My Japanese colleague got falling down drunk with our boss and woke up horrified, until I told him it was mandatory team bonding. Meanwhile, my American friend got fired for being tipsy at a work party. Same alcohol, opposite career outcomes. When is drinking together bonding or unprofessional?
Right, let's talk about alcohol, the substance that reveals who you really are and destroys careers in culturally specific ways.
Oh God, alcohol and work is such a minefield.
Tell me about your Japanese colleague. Falling down drunk with the boss?
Okay, so this was Kenji, software engineer, super professional, very proper. We had this company party, first one since COVID, and I noticed he was drinking a lot.
Like concerning amounts?
Yes! He could barely stand by the end of the night. I was worried about him, but our boss was right there, pouring him drinks, laughing, having a great time.
And the next day?
Next morning, Kenji comes in looking absolutely mortified. Keeps apologizing to me, saying he doesn't remember parts of the night. He's so embarrassed. I'm trying to reassure him, like, it's okay, we've all been there.
And?
He says, but I got drunk in front of our boss. This is terrible. And I'm like, Kenji, our boss was pouring you drinks. He wanted you to get drunk.
Really?
In Japanese corporate culture, drinking with your boss is how you bond. Getting drunk together breaks down the formal hierarchy. It's expected. Refusing to drink can actually hurt your career.
So being professional means getting unprofessional?
Yes, the drinking party, nomikai, is where real relationships form. You're supposed to let loose, be yourself, even embarrass yourself a little. It shows trust.
But Kenji was embarrassed because?
Because he's been in Western work culture too long. He's internalized our rules about professional drinking, which are the opposite of Japanese rules.
What are Western rules exactly?
Stay in control. Be fun, but not too fun. Drink, but don't get drunk. Maintain your professional image even while supposedly relaxing.
The impossible standard!
Exactly, right? We tell people to let loose at work parties while simultaneously judging them if they act.
Tell me about your American friend who got fired. What happened?
Oh, Sarah, this was brutal. Company holiday party, open bar, everyone drinking.
Classic setup for disaster.
Sarah had maybe 3 drinks over 2 hours. Like normal party drinking. Got a little silly, laughed loudly, told some jokes. Not falling down drunk, just visibly tipsy.
And that was enough?
Her manager pulled her aside the next week, said she'd been unprofessional and embarrassing, put her on a performance improvement plan. She ended up leaving the company.
For being tipsy at a party with an open bar?
For being visibly affected by alcohol in front of colleagues. The unspoken rule is you can drink, but you can't seem drunk. You have to maintain perfect control while consuming substances specifically designed to remove control.
That's completely contradictory.
American work culture in a nutshell. Be authentic, but not too authentic. Have fun, but professionally.
What would have been acceptable?
2 drinks maximum, spaced out, leave early, maintain complete composure. Basically, don't drink enough to feel anything.
So why have alcohol at all?
Exactly! It's performative. Look, we're fun, while actually being deeply unfun.
The corporate lie!
What about UK drinking culture? You have pub culture, right?
Oh, British pub culture is its own beautiful disaster.
How so?
Going to the pub after work is absolutely standard. It's where relationships form, where gossip happens, where you prove you're one of the lads, or whatever.
So like Japanese nomikai?
Similar bonding function, but completely different execution. British people get drunk at pubs, but there's this pretense of casualness. Like, oh, we just happened to have 8 pints. How did that happen?
Accidental intoxication!
Precisely. And then everyone shows up to work the next day, hungover, making jokes about it. Bit rough this morning, are we? It's bonding through shared suffering.
That's so British.
We've perfected the art of complaining about self-inflicted problems.
But there must be limits. Like, what's too far?
I think the limit is not remembering or doing something truly embarrassing like crying or fighting or making advances at colleagues.
So drunk is fine, but drunk is not?
Right, there's this acceptable range of intoxication. Too sober and you're not participating in the culture. Too drunk and you've lost control in an unacceptable way.
How is that different from American culture?
The acceptable range is wider in the UK, I think. Americans want you in that narrow zone of fun but controlled. British culture tolerates more actual drunkenness, as long as you're still functional.
Very scientific.
We're experts.
What about Russian drinking culture? I've heard it's intense.
Oh, Russian drinking culture is no joke.
Tell me.
I worked with a Russian sales team for a while. Business meetings often involved vodka. Not at a bar after, during the actual meeting.
During the meeting?
Yes, they'd have a bottle on the table, pour shots, toast to partnership, drink and continue negotiating. It's relationship building.
And if you don't drink?
That's where it gets difficult. Refusing a toast is genuinely offensive. It suggests you don't respect the relationship or trust the person offering.
But what if you can't drink? Medical reasons, religion, alcoholism?
Those are usually accepted reasons. But casual, I don't feel like it, or I'm not a drinker, doesn't really fly. You need a serious reason.
That puts a lot of pressure on people.
It does. I watched one colleague, recovering alcoholic, have to navigate this. He explained his situation privately to the Russian team lead, who was actually very understanding, made sure he always had an alternative beverage and didn't pressure him.
That's good at least.
Yeah, once they understood it was medical, not personal rejection, they accommodated him. But he had to disclose something pretty private to avoid offense.
That's a difficult position to be in.
Very. Your health information shouldn't be required to avoid social pressure.
What about Middle Eastern cultures where alcohol is forbidden?
That's its own complex situation. In countries where alcohol is religiously or legally prohibited, Western business culture creates real conflicts.
How so?
Western companies doing business there often want to maintain their drinking culture. Client dinners, business entertainment, all the usual. But local partners can't or won't participate.
So there's an immediate disconnect.
Right, and sometimes Western business people interpret not drinking as not being friendly or trustworthy, which is incredibly unfair.
That's cultural imperialism.
It is. Like, our way of building relationships for alcohol is the only valid way, and if you don't participate, you're not really committed to the partnership.
How do good companies handle that?
The smart ones adapt. Find other ways to build relationships. Meals, tea culture, sports, family gatherings. Recognize that trust and friendship don't require alcohol.
That seems obvious when you say it out loud.
You'd be surprised how many companies don't get it. What about gender? Do men and women have different expectations around drinking?
Oh, absolutely. And it's often ugly.
Yeah, women who drink at work events get judged way harder than men.
So much harder. A man having a few drinks is being social. A woman having the same amount is sloppy or unprofessional or even asking for trouble.
That last one is particularly gross.
It is. Like women are responsible for men's behavior if they dare to drink in public. It's victim blaming disguised as professional advice.
I imagine it varies by culture.
In more gender-equal cultures like Scandinavia, there's less of that double standard. Women can drink more freely without the same judgment. But in more conservative cultures, including parts of U.S. corporate culture, women drinking is still seen as unfeminine or inappropriate in ways it isn't for men.
And then women are excluded from the real networking that happens at bars.
Right. They're told they should avoid drinking for professionalism, but then miss out on the relationships and opportunities that form during drinking events. Can't win.
What about younger generations? Are they changing these rules?
I think Gen Z is actually less interested in drinking culture overall.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Younger colleagues often choose not to drink, and it seems less stigmatized than it was for millennials or Gen X.
Why do you think that is?
Health consciousness, less social pressure, different relationship with substances. Maybe they've watched older generations deal with alcohol problems and decided it's not worth it.
Or maybe they've seen enough embarrassing work party videos on social media.
That too. Hard to maintain mystique about drinking when everyone has cameras.
But that might actually be good for work culture. If drinking is optional rather than mandatory for advancement, that's healthier for everyone.
Absolutely. Nobody should have to drink to be successful at work.
What about countries like Australia? I feel like they have strong drinking culture.
Oh, Australian drinking culture is intense, but also surprisingly casual.
What does that mean?
Like Australians drink a lot. Come round for a few tinnies means prepare for a full day of drinking, but there's less pretense about it. It's not about professional networking or hierarchy. It's just what you do socially.
So more like British pub culture?
Similar, but even more relaxed. Less about proving anything, more about just having a good time. Though there's definitely still pressure to drink and be one of the boys.
What happens if you're not a drinker in Australian culture?
You'll get some ribbing, probably. What are you, weak? Kind of thing. But I think ultimately it's more accepted than in Russian or Japanese culture, where drinking is explicitly about relationship building.
So it's social but not strategic.
Right, Australian drinking is for fun. Japanese drinking is for team bonding. Russian drinking is for trust building. British drinking is for complaining together. American drinking is for performing work-life balance.
That's a perfect summary. What about France? They're known for wine culture.
French drinking culture is fascinating because it's both very present and very controlled.
How so?
Wine with lunch is completely normal in France, but getting drunk is seen as unsophisticated. You drink, but you maintain composure and appreciation for the wine itself.
So it's about taste and culture, not intoxication?
Right. A French business person might have wine at lunch, wine at dinner, but never be visibly drunk. That would be gauche, uncultured.
Meanwhile, British and Australian people are seeing how drunk they can get.
Completely different goals.
What's the actual career impact of all this? Like, does drinking ability affect advancement?
Yes, unfortunately. In many cultures, your drinking determines your access to informal networks.
Which is discriminatory against so many groups. People in recovery, people with medical conditions, people with religious prohibitions, people who just don't like alcohol.
Absolutely. It creates an invisible barrier where the real relationships and opportunities happen at bars or drinking events, and anyone who doesn't participate is left out. I've seen this happen. Deals made at the pub, promotions discussed over drinks, gossip shared while intoxicated. If you're not there, you're at a disadvantage.
That's really unfair.
It is, and companies should be more conscious about it. Create relationship building opportunities that don't center around alcohol.
Like what?
Coffee meetings, lunch outings, sports activities, volunteer events. Lots of ways to bond that don't require drinking.
And normalize, I'm not drinking tonight, without requiring an explanation or excuse.
Right. Nobody should have to disclose medical or personal information to avoid alcohol pressure.
What advice would you give someone navigating drinking culture across different countries?
First, research. Know what's expected in the culture you're entering. Is drinking mandatory for relationships? Optional but encouraged? Or actually inappropriate?
And have your strategy ready. If you don't want to drink, know your excuse in advance and deliver it confidently. I'm on medication, religious reasons, or health reasons usually work. I don't feel like it often doesn't.
Which is unfortunate but pragmatic.
What if you're expected to drink but don't want to get drunk?
Pace yourself. Alternate alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. Eat plenty. Stay hydrated. Accept drinks but sip slowly.
And in cultures where toasts require full glasses, there are tricks. Order smaller glasses, fake sip, or nurse one drink all night.
The professional survival guide to drinking.
Basically.
You know what's interesting? We've talked about all these different drinking cultures, and none of them are really about the alcohol.
Right? It's always about something else. trust, hierarchy, bonding, proving loyalty, performing relaxation. The alcohol is just the vehicle for whatever the culture actually values. So understanding drinking culture is really understanding what relationships mean in that culture.
And what behaviors signal belonging versus exclusion.
Which brings us back to the beginning. No drinking culture is objectively right or wrong. Just different values expressed through shared substances. Some of us just express them more soberly than others.
Very diplomatic. Thanks for joining us on the Etiquette Enigma.
Remember, drinking cultures vary wildly, and what's mandatory bonding in one place is career suicide in another. So before you accept that drink from your boss, maybe Google what country you're in and whether you're expected to get drunk or stay sober.
Or pretend to be having fun while secretly counting your drinks.
The American special!
Exactly.
But seriously, no one should have to drink to advance their career. If you don't want to, don't. And if you're leading teams, create spaces for bonding that don't require alcohol. Make room for everyone, not just the drinkers. See you next episode.
Where we'll probably need a drink after discussing this.
Or therapy.